This is the Lounge Podcast brought to you by Recordon Studios, hosting the Qatar Parenting Network. And it's a pleasure to welcome author and communications professional, Dilraz Kunnummal.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Now, born and raised in the region, living here in Qatar, and the author, let's just talk about this for a moment, the author of 3 books about children and parenting. Just tell us a little bit about that to start with.
Okay, so I have 2 kids. My son is 9 and my daughter Amara is 4. She turns 4 next week. Oh my God. So when my son was born and I had to go back to work and he was going into nursery, and that was all right. But when he was 2.5, we had to change nurseries. And then he didn't understand why mom was going away. And so I started looking for resources to help us because, separation anxiety is huge when moms have to return to work. I was miserable, he was miserable, and we couldn't find anything that helped us.
Right.
So then I said, I have the skills to say the story. I'm a communications professional. So what can I do to, bridge that gap? And that's how my first book was born. It's called See You Soon, and it talks about how you deal with this separation anxiety when you go back to work and, the child is in the care of caretakers, whether grandparents or the nursery or somebody else. And, that also, gave me that passion to write more. And then my second book was about breastfeeding. I'm a passionate advocate for breastfeeding and also the need to hear other stories. Unlike what everyone thinks, it isn't that, you have a baby and magically you can breastfeed. There are so many challenges and it's a really difficult journey.
Right.
And I wanted to share that story. And I'm not an expert, but I knew other moms and their stories. So my second book, Drops of Nurture, is a collection of 30 stories from 30 different moms, talking about different aspects of their journey. My personal story talks about how I continued to pump when I went to work. Somebody else's story talks about how daunting it was to stay committed to breastfeeding. Somebody else's talks about how, they were judged and they couldn't figure out what to do. So it's different aspects of that. My last book is again a children's book, and I love that personally. I love the book. I mean, of course I'm biased, but it's about celebrating differences. It's called We Are All Different, We Are All Amazing. So it talks about how we can look different, we can talk differently, we have different skills, our skin tone, everything about us can be different. But regardless of that, we are amazing, and every single person and every single child deserves respect. So that's also the lesson I'd want to teach my kids. So that's why I wrote that one.
And it's a wonderful thing to share. And of course, as you say, drawing on your skills as a communications expert as well enabled you to do that. Let's talk about you as a mum. And we hear this phrase, parenting with purpose.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
So, as a parent, I truly believe that my children don't owe me anything. They don't owe me respect just because I'm their parent. They owe me respect because I'm another human being, and every human being deserves respect. And I don't, I don't think they should make space for me just because I'm their mother, and they should listen to me just because I'm their mother. And I don't believe in obedience at all. So, how do we raise individuals that are making their mark in this world? And it's not about success. It's about, do they have empathy? Do they have understanding? Do they respect others around them? Do they respect where they come from? Do they celebrate themselves? And are they, giving back in whatever way, right? It isn't about academic success. It isn't about athletics or any of that. All of that is great as well, of course. And, we try and guide that path. But to me, parenting with purpose was to raise children who are, global citizens and, citizens of the world, and not just somebody who's, a bully and who's, not inclusive. So these sort of values that my parents gave me is what I wanted to give to them. And that, I think, is what being a parent with purpose means to me.
Right. Now, of course, you've got to bear in mind some parents do have the best intentions. They get stuck in old habits. They don't know how to move forward. Yeah. So how does that work for them?
So I think one of the things we have to realize is that parenting is not something we are born with, the parenting skills. We have to learn it. It is a learned skill. It is a practiced skill. So be open to reading about it. Be open to talking to others about it. Be open to unlearning, right? So a lot of us come with our own baggages into parenthood. whether it is the way we were raised, whether it is our childhood trauma, whether it's what we've seen on TV, whether, it's cultural influences to our parenting, it's all of this. But we should be able to unpack that and unlearn a lot of these things to be able to relearn or learn other ways to do this. So I think, the biggest hassle is that mental block. Like, okay, can I do this differently? And once you accept that, you don't have to be the parent you saw on TV or the parent you had when you were growing up, or locked in by those thought processes and mindsets of those around you, and you can be your own parent, and the only one you have to care about is yourself, your child, and your immediate family unit, while keeping in the ethos and respect for everything else. That's what matters. I think once you're ready to do that, and once you then start learning about parenting, I think it makes all the difference. Keep in mind that every generation parents differently. We cannot parent the way our parents parented us, and our children will not parent the way I'm parenting them. It's only those core values remain, but everything else changes, and you need to move with that change to be able to parent for the world that we live in today.
Exactly. So, yeah. Look, you've been involved with the Qatar Parenting Network a long while now. Everything you're saying makes perfect sense, but there are mums who still need, and dads who still need some help.
Absolutely.
And this network is where to come for that, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I've been involved with Qatar Parenting Network for at least 3 years now, if not more. So the first time I met Gauri was on an online, parenting group, and I was truly impressed by her tenacity and how committed she was to this, to this vision, to building this community. I've had the pleasure, privilege, and honor of hosting a session for them on gentle parenting 3 years ago, and that was in a much smaller room with a much smaller community. To what it's grown today, the team behind it has really, really committed themselves to it, and I'm in awe of everything they've achieved. And it's, I think, also the mission and vision of Qatar Parenting Network, right? What you see here, empowering families, strengthening communities, and shaping future as a community. I think that is key, especially when you live in a multicultural society where you don't know how everyone else works, whether, when you're always questioning your own, sort of approach as a parent, when you are not in a community or a village. It takes a village, like they say. And so this sort of QPN allows that village to be around you and to build with love and confidence and, to become a parent, which I think all of us want to be for our children. I think that's where QPN comes in.
Right, fascinating and some great insights, and we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.